Gabatrix, the Shira Minerva, series by C. Med. It had been well past 7 hours. Javier was walking down the centripetal rotating ring of the Jianseng. It felt nice to feel some sort of gravity pulling down on his body again. The lack of gravity was punishing to those who were exposed to it the longest. Short-term spurts like this didn't really hurt the body, but he felt the desire to get some sleep again. A part of him felt the need to talk to Shira. He even debated about going to her quarters to speak with her. Currently, it was morning, now reaching around 0600. However, the good news was that the jump and landing operation wouldn't require the entire staff to be awake at 1000 to give any available support. The good news was that the jump and landing operation wouldn't require the entire staff to be awake at 1000 to give any available support. Even then, the fact that the ship was going to be moving around a lot, flying and landing in a planetary body and atmosphere, would still require people to be strapped in. Thankfully, Gamma shift would be in the engine and centripetal ring, while the Alpha shift would fly down to the surface. It was the regrettable reality of operating in space. The times when people needed sleep, the most would rarely get it and be forced to work long hours again. Javier's thoughts went to Becky. She had been practically asleep for half of the watch, and for her, it was as if it were her only time to get any sleep at all. The fact was that everyone on the ship was used to working overtime. As he continued to walk forward, he could see Shira standing by his door. Her back was perched on the door with her tylon open, apparently reviewing something she found important. A lit cigarette was sitting between her lips as she was swiping at projecting images. Her shark-like tail protruded from the edge of the sliding door. Her one eye seemed to notice his presence as he was getting closer to her. "Ah, there you are," Javier said as he walked up next to her. "I was about to go looking for you." She went and pressed the two metal strips together to close out her tylon. She then put it away while she gripped her cigarette with her two fingers. "I heard about the assistance you gave to the engineers," he added. "Impressive work." "A simple resolve by looking at it from a different view," she calmly said. Javier commented, putting his hand to his forehead. "I have to readjust to having gravity to no gravity to gravity again. I apologize if it's doing loops for my body. I have to readjust to having gravity to no gravity to gravity again. I apologize if it's doing loops for my body. I would recommend going to the medic to see if they can offer anything for you." He shook his head. "Nah, a little bit of sleep is all I really need. My replacement is on watch right now. You're welcome to come inside my quarters." Javier went and tapped the button on the panel by the door. The entrance slid open as he stepped inside. The once empty quarters became occupied again as the man found a chair by the table to sit in. Shira followed behind him and sat down in the other remaining chair. Even with her size, it seemed cramped for her. She seemed to concentrate on the cigarette smoke. "I always see you smoke," Javier said. "Every time I ask why you do it, you always avoid the question." She blew out a puff of smoke from her pointed nose. "Does a person like me need a reason to smoke?" "Nah, I'm just curious." "Do you feel like there is some extraordinary reason why it is done?" Javier commented as he put his hands on the table. "It isn't that. With you, I always feel that there's more to you than I even realize. It's like I can be with you for years. But in the end, I'd only scratch the surface when it comes to your personality." She pulled out her tin box from her back pocket and opened it. She pulled out the small ashtray and placed it on the table. She then tapped her lit cigarette to it before she put it back to her lips. Does the Shao-Rain need a reason to smoke? She asked him. No, it's their choice, he answered. Is there a rule that forces me to explain why I smoke? No. Then my simple answer is this. I enjoy smoking. There is no prophetic reason or some hidden cause for it. It isn't to calm my nerves, a cultural fad, habitual, or some other physical driving force for it. I smoke because I choose to, nothing more. Somehow I feel in the next several years I'm going to learn about some ancient master that taught you about the prized art of smoking. Either that, or I'm going to learn about some hidden tragic past that I don't know about where smoking serves as a relief to something. Just wait and see. Keep trying to figure it out, she said calmly. I have already provided the answer. He paused as he rubbed his temples. So, you seem to be doing all right, adjusting. Of course. No one else has made any offensive gestures to you? Anybody made any threats? No to both questions, she answered. I am unharmed, as I have been in the last several days. He nodded his head. I imagined that you would. What were you reading about earlier? I was reading about the events that transpired, that led to the failures of the sensor array. I have a hypothesis. You do? You plan on working with the engineers again today? I will need to go to Pelora to verify if the hypothesis is correct. You don't have to go there, you know, he told her. You were busy helping the Gamma shift last night. You would be part of one shift and be able to get rest now. Have it where we both work and have the same off hours together. I know, she responded, tapping her cigarette to the ashtray. You forget that I only need 4 hours of sleep, but I will keep that in mind. For now, I will need to go to Pelora to render assistance to the ship and crew. It will increase the operational threshold and capability of this ship. Plus, it will make you look even better to the ship and crew, he commented. Although I do imagine that you helping out last night will get around in the rumor mill today. The opinions of the crew do not concern me, only if it is perceived as a threat. Only if it is perceived as a threat towards me do I have to prepare for it. Fine, you win. Javier could see that she tilted her head a little bit. Her one eye was carefully studying his facial inflections. He felt like putting his head on the table. Do you feel that our conversations turn into competitions? Shira asked him. Yeah, and every time I challenge you in some quarrel of words, I feel like I'm going to lose, he replied. That is not entirely true. Any leader who's going to survive and adapt to an environment must be a good listener as well. You may feel that you have little impact on my feelings and opinions, but you still do. In the coming future, I see you as the mate that stands beside me in battle, much as you were on the Gaja. The only difference is that you will provide important ideas, thoughts, and strategies for winning. You are my mate, after all. Javier's thoughts had gone back to the assault carrier that she commanded. He still remembered the battle to escape back to the UHN. For a little while, she was absolutely correct. He stood beside her on her bridge. Even with her lowered rank and position, she had these ambitions, even if she had never spoken verbally about them until now. He hadn't even considered it. There is a possibility of it happening in reverse, he told her. I could be the one in command, and you're the one giving me the best ideas and maneuvers. It is possible. Javier smiled a little bit. I don't suppose you're just saying all that to make me happy? Her only response to that comment was to take a drag from her cigarette. The tip burned hot momentarily before she blew out another puff of smoke. Javier waved his hands to wipe away the smoke. Sometimes you just need to show a little bit of emotion, he said. You do so much to keep it all bundled up. Honestly, the only time I saw you remotely angry was yesterday in the mess hall. Any other time was something that occurred with you that you told me that I never really witnessed. I was not angry at Obasi or his men, she countered. I only wanted to scare them to backing down. You didn't feel angry for one tiny second, not even a little? None. There was nothing gained by them being angry at me. The only thing that concerned me was that they were committed to a foolish action. If I had been an enemy, they would all be dead right now because of those set actions. Maybe I should rephrase that to being disappointed, Javier replied. I guess it makes sense. The only way to prevent that from happening is preventing the fires from starting in the first place. Precisely, she said, as she took a drag from her cigarette. She breathed out a puff of smoke. As much as I don't care about the concerns of the crew, I do have to prepare for their perceived threats against me. Adapting and preventing it from happening is the only way to stop it.